Good evening and welcome to Village Night Fall 2025. I am just so happy that you're all here, and I hope that y'all are feeling the love in the room. This is a safe space. We're all for you. It's going to be amazing. Okay, a few housekeeping things I just wanted to orient you to before we get started. First are the magazines that you have in your hand. So this is the first ever issue of Village Mentality 101 magazine, edited by Jordan Monette and Aiden Dowdy. So please do comb through that later, read through the excerpts of the kids' stories. I'm just enthralled with their writing, and I think you will be too. So please enjoy that. Second is I hope that you take some time to look. There's a little display just outside the back door and to the right of some of the kids' work. You'll see scale models that they made, mosaic art that they made, and they also wrote mini memoirs. They're on display for you to enjoy. And then the last thing I want to draw your attention to is each child is wearing a necklace tonight. And these necklaces are part of a routine that we call recognition ceremony. So we do it every Friday. And the way it works is someone comes to the middle and they say, "I have a recognition." And everybody else says recognize. And then you get to select a bead and give it to a classmate that you have witnessed following our 3 school rules. Be kind, take ownership, and show your brilliance. So all those beads on your child's neck is all the times they were kind or showing their brilliance or taking ownership of responsibility, our space, etc. So that's something that you need to know you should be really proud of. Okay, we're going to begin. The core values of the Joy Village School are joy, belonging, empowerment, excellence, celebration, and rest. This event is one of our core celebration routines. Your students have accomplished so much this quarter, and I'm excited for them to share some of the things they've learned and written tonight. Now, as always, we'd like to open the evening with the singing of the Black National Anthem. Lift every voice and sing. So we now invite you to stand and sing with us. Thank you. You may be seated. Y'all sounded good, okay? I hear you. Each quarter, in addition to core academics, our students are blessed to be able to learn from dynamic community leaders in enrichment classes on a variety of topics. This quarter, we were honored to host a drumming class with the inimitable Dr. Arvin Scott. Yeah, give it up for Dr. Scott, yeah! Dr. Scott is a retired UGA professor of music who has decades of experience in drum instruction. He has traveled the world to share his gifts and has even started a nonprofit called Drumming for Success that has introduced students all over the country to the joy of drumming. It truly has been a unique honor for the Joy Village kids to be able to share so much dedicated time with such a gem of our community and to learn not just about the mechanics of drumming, but also valuable life lessons that they'll carry with them. At this time, I would like to invite to the stage Dr. Arvin Scott and the Joy Village Drum Corps. All right, that was amazing, right? Like, I am really proud and mad impressed. Okie doke. Wakey, wakey, little computer. Okay, now I'm excited for the students to share an artifact of their academic learning this semester. Truly, these students have covered so much ground in just the first 9 weeks of school. In English language arts, they've practiced cursive, letter writing, email writing, and journaling. They've learned 40 new vocabulary words as they have painstakingly deciphered convoluted terms, so they will no longer falter or wail when a long word reverberates in their ears. If you didn't understand that last sentence, you can have a child translate for you. They've learned the features of dystopian fiction, and they've published the first ever edition of Joy Village, Village Mentality 101 magazine, which you are now holding in your hands. In math, we have drilled partial quotient division and partial product multiplication. We learned to reason through logic puzzles and have studied lines, rays, and angles in geometry. They've also applied these skills in practical ways, like creating a scale model of the classrooms and calculating the soil content of soil samples from Lenontown to determine the impact of urbanization on the land. In legacy studies, we have used the story of Lenontown to do a critical analysis of the ways power operates in our community and how preserving history can be a way to fight against oppression. The students read Miss Hattie Whitehead's memoir about Lenontown and collected her oral history while touring the neighborhood. They also saw the Lenontown musical and documentary and met some of the activists featured in the documentary. As we entered into conversations about activism, the students explored what it means to take a stance and make a change in one's community. And they even voted to do a community service project of reading to younger students who will be coming to visit the pumpkin patch as their own form of activism. To culminate their exploration of activism, the students have each selected a youth activist to research and write about. What you will hear next are essays that each student has written about the youth activists they selected. First up is Mr. Aiden Dowdy.
My story is on Claudette Colvin. As Claudette Colvin was growing up, she lived in an all-black neighborhood. She attended Booker T. Washington High School, which at the time was a racially segregated high school. Throughout all of high school, she was a diligent student who got nothing but straight A's. And while in high school, Colvin had ambitions of being politically active. Okay. Her biological parents are C.P. Austin and Mary Jane. Claudette Colvin was born on September 5th, 1939 in Montgomery, Alabama. To add, she was also born with the name Claudette Austin. At the age of 15, a pregnant Claudette Colvin refused to give up her seat to a white male, and that led to her arrest and 3 criminal charges. This act led to the more known boycott of Rosa Parks. Most people don't know of Claudette Colvin because the NAACP paid people to keep it quiet. They thought that a pregnant 15-year-old was not a good look for them. They thought that it would not be appealing to white people. In conclusion, Claudette Colvin once said, "I'm not mad about the situation. It was like having Christmas in January instead of on the 25th. This means that she felt hopeful that this would make a difference." Thank you.
Great job, Aiden. Next, we'll hear from Ms. Madison McRae about Emma Gonzalez.
Emma Gonzalez was born and raised in Parkland, Florida. She has a sister and 2 brothers. Her parents are named Beth Gonzalez and Jose Gonzalez. Emma Gonzalez wants to stop gun violence. She has been thinking about it since she was 9, and in 2021, she was starting a journey to make a change in gun violence. She has been improving her change these past few years. She survived the shooting at her school in Parkland, Florida, and she figured out how bad gun violence is. She wanted to stop it. She talks to lawmakers and leads protests. Emma Gonzalez is still trying to end gun violence to this day. She has done a lot to make our community better. Thank you.
Next, we'll learn from Michael Bailey about James Baldwin.
James Arthur Baldwin was a civil rights activist who spoke out against racism. He was born on August 2nd, 1921, 24 in Harlem, New York, to Emma Burgess Jones. She was originally from Deal Island, Maryland. He was reared by his mother and his stepfather, David Baldwin. David Baldwin was a Baptist preacher from New Orleans, Louisiana, whom Baldwin lived with during his early teen years. Baldwin attended Frederick Douglass Junior High School, where he met his French teacher and mentor, County Cullen. He became famous as a poet during the Harlem Renaissance. In 1944, Baldwin met Richard Wright, who was an African-American male writer at the time, and his work spoke to him. Wright helped Baldwin to find a fellowship to write his first novel called Go Tell the Mountains, and enabled him to leave Paris in 1948. His books were called Giovanni's Room, The Fire Next Time, Sonny's Blues, and more. Where the older writer had relocated a few years earlier, between 1948 and 1957. He lived in France and traveled in Europe. And from 1961 to 1971, Baldwin lived for long periods in Istanbul and visited many other places in Turkey. France became Baldwin's second home, where he experienced both acceptance and rejectance, racial equality and racism, and joy and suffering. Throughout the 1960s, Baldwin marched, demonstrated, and spoke publicly, nationally and internationally. When Martin Luther King was assassinated in 1968, Baldwin was living in California in a rented house in Los Angeles, where he was writing a screenplay based on Alice Haley's The Autobiography of Malcolm X. But unfortunately, after a short battle with stomach cancer, Baldwin passed away on November 90th, 1982, in his home in St. Paul, Village. Thank you.
Excellent work, Michael. Next, we'll hear from Elijah Barnett, and he'll be telling us about Ernest Green.
Ernest Green is a youth activist who is a part of the Little Rock Nine, a group of 9 African American students who desegregated Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1957. Green was born on September 22, 1941 in Little Rock. He became an active member of the community during his childhood, becoming a Boy Scout and eventually an Eagle Scout. While it is currently unknown what elementary school Green attended, we do know that he attended Man Magnet Middle School, also in Little Rock. He initially started high school at Dunbar Junior High, then at Horace Mann, before finally volunteering to integrate to Little Rock Central High School, which only allowed white students to enroll back then. On September 25, 1957, following the Brown versus Board of Education case of 1954, the Little Rock Nine, a group of 9 black students, which included Green, attempted to enter Central but were faced with immense backlash and resistance. The 9 reported to have been kicked and spat upon, but were taught by the NAACP to not fight back. President Eisenhower sent federal troops to escort the 9 that day to ensure that no drastic measures would be taken against them. Green would become the first black senior to graduate from Central, contributing to his fame. After his graduation, Green attended Michigan State University, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts and Master of Arts degree in Social Sciences. He was presented many awards, including the Congressional Gold Medal, presented by President Clinton to the 9 in 1999. He was also given the NAACP Spingarn Award, the Rockefeller Public Service Award, and was even given honorary degrees from various colleges. Green is still living as of today at 84 in Washington, D.C. as a retired managing director. Green left behind a legacy, showing that anyone, regardless of color, can persevere under duress. Thank you.
All right, next is Ms. Kamaria Lawrence, who'll be teaching us about Mari Copany.
Mariana Copeland, known as Little Miss Flint, is a young activist who wrote a letter to Barack Obama when she was 8 years old about the water crisis in her city, Flint, Michigan. She prompted him to visit her city and survey the water crisis for himself. Obama thanked Copeland for her letter and flew down to Flint, Michigan to meet her on May 4, 2016. On April 25, 2014, the city of Flint, Michigan changed their city's water supply. Flint had bad water because in 2014, state-appointed officials switched the city's water source from Detroit system to the Flint River without properly treating it to prevent rust. Mari raised more than $400,000, and with that money, she produced the filters and shared them with communities that are sick with hazardous drinking water and provided backpacks and school supplies for children in school. Until this day, Mari continues to highlight issues like environmental and structural racism on a national level. Mari received awards like the Shorty Award and for Best in Activism in 2019 and the Billboard Music Changemaker Award in 2022. My favorite quote by Mari Copany is, "You're never too young or too small to change the world." Thank you.
Great job. All right, next we're going to hear from Ms. Peyton Eccles about Amanda Gorman.
Born and raised in Los Angeles, Amanda Gorman began writing at only a few years of age. Now her words have won her invitations to perform for the Miranda, Al Gore, the Secretary Hillary Clinton, Malala Yousafzai, and others. She is the youngest inaugural poet in U.S. history, as well as an award-winning writer, and graduated from Harvard University, where she studied psychology. Amanda Gorman is the founder of a nonprofit organization called One Pen One Page, will help youth with writing and leadership skills. In 2017, Amanda Gorman was appointed for the first ever National Youth Poet renowned by Urban World, which is a program that supports youth writers, youth poets in over 66 regions and states nationally. In 2019, Amanda Gorman was chosen for Root Magazine Young Futurist. She made on the annual list of the 25 best, brightest young African Americans who excelled in the field of social justice and activism. She has written for New York Times, The Edit, Pen for the platform of Nike's 2020 History Campaign. She railed at listeners not only to set aside differences, but also to recognize that America was a turning point when citizens must come together with the country's harrowing history to redeem its founding idea. Amanda Gorman is also known for how easily she captivates the audience with her poised and stern messages. On January 2021, Amanda Gorman became the sixth and the youngest inaugural poet at the age of 22. Thank you.
All right, next we get to learn from Gio Manette. He's going to tell us about John Lewis.
John Lewis played a big role in the civil rights movement, and it wasn't easy at all. Starting with his childhood, he was born in Troy, Alabama, which is on the southern side of Alabama. His parents' names were Eddie Lewis and Willie Mae Carter. He was also one of 10 children. While growing up, he loved chickens. He would be heartbroken when his parents killed the chickens for food. One Christmas, he got a Bible and he wouldn't stop preaching to the chickens. During his teenage years, he went to a segregated public school in Pike County, Alabama. At that school, he figured out he loved the library. When he was 11, his uncle took him to Buffalo, New York, where he became aware of the contrast with Troy's segregation. If it wasn't for school, John Lewis would not be a civil rights activist. He wanted to be a preacher. During his college years, he started being an advocate and an activist. He went to Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee. And then, while he was there, he joined the Student Nonviolent Coordinator Committee. The SNCC is basically just a program with the youth that fought for civil rights in the 1960s. In his activism years, he was called one of the most courageous people the civil rights movement ever produced. He lived to be 80 years old, and then he passed on July 17th of 2020. He got to march with Martin Luther King Jr., and he was a keynote speaker at the historic march in Washington, D.C. in August of 1963. And he also fractured his school during a voters' rights march from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery, Alabama. He was arrested more than 40 times during his days of civil rights activism. On April 27th of 2009, he got arrested outside of the embassy of Sudan, where he was protesting the destruction of aid refugees in Darfur. He also left the NCC in 1966. John Lewis was the first black lawmaker to lay in state at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda. Thank you.
Great job. All right, next we have Ms. Shazaria Brown telling us about Marley Diaz.
Marley Diaz is an American activist and writer. While Diaz was in 6th grade, on November 15th, she launched a campaign called #1000BlackGirlBooks to collect 1,000 books with black girl characters to donate for black girls at other schools in the U.S. When Marley Diaz launched her first book drive, she donated thousands of the collected books. Marley has over 15,000 books she has collected. Marley was 13 years old when she became a young activist. Marley Diaz was named after the famous singer named Bob Marley. Marley Diaz was born in Philadelphia. Marley Diaz is 20 years old and went to school at West Orange High School. My favorite quote by Marley Diaz is, "Frustration is fuel that can lead to the development of a new and useful idea." She also said, "Education is freedom." All the awards Marley Diaz received were United Nations Youth Award, Obama Foundation Scholar, Source of Justice Award, and the Max Silver Award. Marley is currently a student at Harvard University as the Nation Ambassador for Read Across America. According to MarleyDiaz.com, Marley Diaz changed the world by sparking a global movement for diversity and driven literature. Thank you.
All right, next we have Ethan Mathis, who's going to teach us about Paula Chrysostomo.
Paula Chrysostomo was born in 1951. She had 7 siblings. Her mother was an activist, and she grew up to be an activist too. When she was 17, she organized a school walkout. She went to Lincoln High School. There were dire school conditions, racist teachers, and decrepit classrooms. Paula and her friends made surveys to allow her classmates to share about the school conditions. They went to the school board for help, but they were patronized instead. Eventually, they got tired of it, and in 1968, Paula Chrysostomo decided to organize a walkout. 20,000 high school students participated, including Lincoln, Wilson, Garfield, Roosevelt, and Belmont high schools. The walkout was designed to make the school lose money. It was the first mass protest against racism by Mexican Americans. Now Paula is the director of government and community relations in her town. There was a movie based on a walkout, and she also wrote a book. Now Paula Chrysostomo is 64 years old, still trying to make a difference in school and still trying to help the world.
All right, Jalen's next, and he's going to tell us about Ashawn Johnson.
My story's on Ashawn Johnson. Ashawn Johnson was 9 when he started fighting for better schools. Ashawn saved his own school from closing. He spoke at a young age. He was the only kid to express his feelings. His granddad was who inspired him. He went to a black school. He fought for Chicago schools to not close down. He was against closing schools. He spoke about his activism in college. He's currently playing football for Central State University. He is still speaking up for schools. He received national awards. Ashawn Johnson was on BET and News 1. He was the youngest speaker at the 50th anniversary rally of the March on Washington. He fought to keep over 50 schools from closing. Even though he's in college, he still takes up from Chicago schools.
All right, our last speaker of the evening will be Journey Lennon, and she's going to share about Malala Yousafzai.
Malala Yousafzai was born on July 12, 1997 in Pakistan. Her family did not have enough money for the hospital, so she was born at home. Her family was lower middle class. When she was 11, she wrote a blog on the internet and she changed her name to keep her identity safe. Malala is an education activist who wants girls to have a better education. The Taliban is a violent group that banned girls from attending school in Pakistan. Malala once said education is education. We should learn everything and then choose which path to follow. Education is neither Eastern nor Western. It is human. Malala is fluent in Urdu and English. She was taught mostly by her father, Ziauddin Yousafzai, who was a poet and a school owner and an education activist. He ran a chain of private schools known as the Kusal Private School. Malala also graduated from Oxford University, and she always treasured her time at Lady Margaret Hall. When she was 15, she was attacked by the Taliban. She was shot in the face and survived. After the Taliban tried to kill her, everybody around the world supported her. Malala won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2015. She was the youngest person to earn the Nobel Peace Prize, and Summer created a documentary about her. Thank you.
We did it! I'm so proud. Okay, pull it together, Laura. Lastly, we want to perform a song that encapsulates the spirit of activism that we have been learning about, followed by a couple cheers from our daily Harambe gathering to give you a little taste of the culture that we have built together in these 9 weeks. This song is called Change by the artist Her, and we hope you enjoy it. That's it. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you feel super proud. I definitely do. And I hope y'all enjoy a lovely fall break. Oh, picture. They want a picture.